Okay. Hi, so my name is Andy or Andrew Shu, and I'm here to present about the core lexicon of Sanqiao. So, okay, first slide. Okay, so this is a language that's spoken in Jinping and Liping counties in Guizhou province. And this is a mystery language of China that it's often been mentioned in gazetteers, but there hasn't, like nobody's ever published any word lists before. So in Chinese sources, they often call it Sanqiao Hua. So they write it in two different ways using different characters. But the locals actually call it Chaohua, as I found out in 2019. And most speakers are actually officially classified by the Chinese government as ethnic Miao, but some of them are actually ethnic Dong as well. So overall, these are not mutually intelligible with other Hmongic languages, but there are actually some speakers of other Hmongic texts that can recognize dialects. Okay, next slide. So some notes on names. So just to be clear, I'm going to call East Hmongic, which is what Martha Ratliff calls it. So I'm going to refer to the East Hmongic branch as, no, I'm sorry. So in China, they actually call it Central Miao or Miaoyu Zongbu Fangyan. But Western scholars usually call it East Hmongic. And as for Hmongmian, it's actually called Miaoyao in China. So people classified as ethnic Miao in China, they mostly speak Hmongic or Miao languages. But some groups also speak Mianic and even Krada languages, for example, Talmiao people who speak a Kamsui language. And as I'll demonstrate, Sanqiao is actually an East Hmongic language. Okay, and next slide. Okay, so there's been some previous work done on Sanqiao before, but it's all demographic studies. So for example, U 2017 says that it's a mix of Dong and Miao. But as I'm going to show, that's actually not true because there wasn't any linguistic data provided. And my own linguistic research shows that there were, that these are mostly Hmongic words. And there are about 6,000 Sanqiao people in these two counties, Jinping and Liping counties, in about 20 hamlets or natural villages in China. Okay, regional demographics. So as I've said before, these are majority ethnic Dong and Han counties, but there are also some Miao living in the mountains. The lingua franca is Southwest Mandarin. Okay, data collection. So I collected the data in August 2019 from a woman in her 40s at the town center of Guben in Jinping County. And I recorded everything with a voice recorder, and I interviewed her together with another Miao speaker. And this is a map showing that the Sanqiao area is actually in southeast Guizhou. So Sanqiao, Miao, and Guben town, they're spoken, both of these are spoken in the town, but they're speakers of each language consider themselves to be ethnically distinct from each other. So some residents can actually speak both. And at the town center, I elicited basic vocabulary from them both. Okay, so we're going to do some lexical comparisons. And Sanqiao clearly belongs within East Chendong, or the Eastern subdialect of East Hmongic. So Wang Fu's 1985 gives 4 different dialects, and some sources actually give even more. Yeah. In comparisons with the local Miao dialect of Guben shows that the two are closely related. So here are some phonological features. So there's uvular versus velar contrast. There's also velar voiceless nasals and laterals. And you have rhymes such as e, and you have nasalized vowels. So, for example, O and A that are nasalized, but you don't really have a separate N or M nasal final. Okay, so the numerals are all mostly Hmongmian, as you can see in the tables below. So Sanqiao is highlighted in green below, and there are no Dong or Chinese numerals. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are all very clearly Hmongic, and these are not Kamsui or Chinese. So yi, a, bai, la, zi. 6 to 10 as well. It's zhu, xiong, zhou, zhu. Okay, body parts. So we have selected words for body parts, showing that Sanqiao is clearly most related to Caidiwan, which is an East Hmong dialect of Guizhou County in Hunan. And okay, so for example, for hair, the first syllable here, as you can see, it's liu. So in Caidiwan, you also have liu. And same for intestines and nose and ear and liver. So for example, for intestines, it's basically the same word, katzang. So you see that in both Sanqiao and Caidiwan. For nose, you can see that they have the same second syllable, except same for ear and liver. So other body part words that match irregularly with various Eastern Hmong dialects include, for example, eye, tooth, tongue, mouth, and hand. So for example, for eye, you have yuma, which you can see several similar words in, for example, Yanghao and Yaogao, which are north and south Chendong, tooth and tongue, and mouth and hand. But as for nature and natural phenomena and animal names, we have, for example, the A rhyme, which is EI. That's found in Sanqiao, in Caidiwan and Yaogao. And here you also have an interesting lexical isogloss. So here's salt. So it's bao with a rising tone in both Sanqiao and Caidiwan. But as for the other four words, stone, road, egg, and fish, you can see that they're present in Sanqiao as well as in the east and south Chendong dialects. So like yay for stone and yay for road and path. And you have egg, high level tone in all three of these dialects. And you have fish as well. So other animal names, Sanqiao has lost the final nasal in snake and rat. So na, so you have na for snake and na for rat. And like all the other Chendong dialects, snake and rat are distinguished only by tone. So you can see that these are all minimal pairs, and the only way to tell snake and rat apart is by listening to the tone. And interestingly, horse is also diphthongized in Sanqiao. So here you have mei, which is horse, but the others are something like ma or mi. Okay, some other words matching onsets in Caidiwan but not Yaogao. So here you have house. So zai and zai, that's so there's a very close match with Caidiwan. As you can see, it's the same TS onset, and you have the same diphthongized rhyme, and their level tones as well. As for red, you can see it's shang versus It's basically shan for red in both dialects. And far, as you can see, F onsets. Okay, further dialectal comparisons. So you can see that Sanqiao is most related to the Shanghao dialect spoken in Sanjiang County in the table below. And I've also compared Sanqiao with the data from Tuanyang 2008, which is the ethnic gazetteer from Jinping County. For example, for the word moon, you have Kali, which is most similar to the Oli dialect, which has Li. And this shows that Sanqiao is most similar to nearby Miao dialects spoken within the same county. Technical issues, yeah. Okay, so okay, 10 minutes left. All right. So here you can see in Sanqiao that there's either A or I, whereas Shangao has A. So note that the tone categories below follow the slashes. So Li 2000 actually puts annotates tones like this. So you get the tone categories after the slashes, and you get the phonetic tone values preceding the slashes. So here you can see that, for example, kan ye, which is ear, that's most similar to the Shangao form, which is nye. So they're both falling tones, and they both have the same rhyme. So as for stone, we have ye and ye. So all of the other dialects have only e or e. So same for egg, and for fish, and for house, and for three. Yeah. So connection issues. Right. Yeah, so don't worry, this is going to be on my academia.edu page later, so you can see the slides as well. And I'm going to put these on Zenodo. So anyways, as for the classification, we can clearly see that Sanqiao is East Chendong, and it's definitely not South or North or West Chendong. Okay, conclusion. As for the classification, Sanqiao is purely East Hmongic. Yeah. It's not a Dong and Miao mixed language or Kamsui and Hmongic mixed language as claimed by other authors in the past. As for Chinese, the Chinese classification, if we follow what Chinese linguists do, we can fit this into the Eastern Subfangyan or Cifangyan of the Central Miao Fangyan. And if we were to put this into an ISO code, I would say that this should be with an HMQ. But since these speakers of Miao and Sanqiao are ethnically distinct, sometimes people working on ISO want to separate them if they're ethnically distinct. So that's something up for discussion. And within HNQ, you actually have a few mutually unintelligible varieties, but the intelligibility may actually vary depending on how much exposure the speaker has to other Miao dialects. Okay, so in conclusion, the language is not immediately endangered because my informant said that most children in the villages also speak the language. And I couldn't collect more than several dozen words because, I didn't have official government permission and or logistical constraints. So we definitely need more phonological and lexical studies. Yeah. And so we need more actual linguistic data to verify claims in the existing literature. So Sanqiao is definitely not mixed with the small dialect, and the speakers have the distinct ethnic identity and don't consider themselves to be Miao. And here are some of the dialects I used. I mean, some of the references I used, and the dialects that were cited were from mostly from Sanqiao, 2013. So okay, thanks very much, and we have some extra time for questions.